Grand Council has convened, and the outcome is clear. In order for our race to survive, we must reach for the stars, we must band together, we must forge ahead and define our destiny. The galaxy is vast, but we must not grow content. There are others who intend to encroach on our territory, but we have a trick up our sleeves. We have the Gaia Project. Gaia Project is the follow-up to one of the most popular and highly regarded games of the last decade. The same design duo has taken the winning formula of Terra Mystica, tweaked it a bit, and launched it into space. Instead of fantasy creatures and differing terrain, we have alien races and specialized planets. Let's take a closer look at how the game works. Each player will control a unique race of alien, and over the course of 5 rounds, will attempt to spread across the galaxy, advance their technologies, and collect the ever-elusive victory points. On any given turn, you perform one action from amongst a host of options. You can colonize other planets by building mines on them. You must account for distance from one of your existing buildings, the cost to terraform the planet, and the cost for the mine itself. There are certain planets that require a bit more work to colonize. You can deploy a Gaia former to convert them to a Gaia planet, which can then be colonized with a mine in the future. Mines are good for providing ore and spreading your presence through the galaxy, but you'll eventually want to deploy trading stations, research labs, academies, and planetary institutes. Your player board shows the flowchart for building upgrades and the cost to do so. Upgrading your buildings will put old buildings back onto your player board and really change up your economy. Whenever you upgrade to a research lab or academy, you gain a technology tile. Tech tiles give you a benefit for the rest of the game and an advancement on the research board. Perhaps the greatest change from Terra Mystica is the addition of said research board. It also happens to be the most interesting element of the game. Each track on the research board will grant you certain advantages and will allow you to specialize in various areas of the game. You can choose to decrease the cost of terraforming planets in order to spread quickly and cheaply. Or you can specialize in science, which will make it easier to further advance on the research board. Or maybe you just invest in your economy for a steady flow of income. It's satisfying in the way that leveling up in an RPG is. You can watch your bars fill up and gain substantial rewards that impact the way that you play the game. You can specialize in a single area or spread your research around. By allowing you to chart your own path, the game allows you to take pleasure in the fruits of your labor. Once you have enough buildings out, you can create a federation. You can lay out satellites to tie distant planets to the federation. Doing so grants you a bonus tile and allows you to reach the final stage of the research track. There's also power actions that are taken by manipulating your power storage. It involves an odd manipulation minigame, but it's oddly satisfying. It's similar to the one found in Terra Mystica, but there's a greater emphasis on adding and removing your power pellets. Randomized endgame scoring goals and per-round scoring tiles, along with the modular board, go a long way towards keeping the game feeling fresh. Though, to be fair, the large variety of alien races and exploring the research board would have kept me occupied for a long time on their own, but the added variance is always nice to have. Overall, it's a nice take on the system we were first introduced to with Terra Mystica, but I can't help but feel that something was lost in translation by changing it to a space setting. Things just feel a little less grounded. The alien races are basically a mumbled mix of consonants. It's hard to tell the difference between a merklurk and a flirpy floop from just the name and illustration. Terra Mystica draws from a common familiarity with fantasy tropes that makes things more approachable. It makes sense that mermaids are good in the water. It makes sense that fakirs can fly on their carpets. But there's no such frame of reference for Gaia Project to get your bearings. Everything's just so alien. It's also more spaced out. Things feel less cramped. Sure, it makes sense that planets would have a significant distance between them, but I miss rubbing elbows with my opponents at every moment. The final board state in Gaia Project just doesn't have the same presence. It's also lost a lot of its visual charm. Gone are the bright yellows, reds, and greens. In are muted browns and a whole lot of black. It goes for a retro sci-fi aesthetic, but it just ends up feeling muddled. These are nitpicks to be sure, but when you claim to be the follow-up to a beloved game, expect for those nits to be picked. At the moment, I can't say that I prefer one game over the other, but the Gaia Project is a terrific game on its own right, and definitely one worthy of further exploration.